Hello everyone, I am Gagandeep and I am having with me Priya. She is handling video coded related projects at Sagacious, and today we'll be discussing testing of implementation specific reads on video coding standards. Before starting the testing related methodology, I'll just discuss about two different type of infringement reads, which is standard based infringement rate and implementation based infringement rate. So in standard based infringement rate, the infringing features of a product corresponds to the mandatory sections of a video coding standard. However, in implementation based infringement rates, the infringing feature of a product corresponds to the optional features disclosed in the video coding standards. And it's up to the manufacturer or the vendor to implement these features in their solutions or not. At Sagacious, many times we have performed testing to identify such implementation specific options that corresponds to the video coding standards. So Priya, can you give us a few examples or use case or scenarios where we have identified these implementation specific reads?
Yes. So there are multiple features which are being optional, which is used by HEVC standard, that is H.265. These features are in-loop filters, scalability features, and there is HDR functionality, which use different transfer functions.
Okay.
So there are many scenarios in which we need to check these features. Like, for example, if we want to know that the device is using, like the video coding device is using which type of encoder, and whether that device is supporting scalability feature, and in case of HDR, which transfer function is being used by that device's encoder.
Okay. So, Priya, can you give us an example from infringement point of view, like an patent that corresponds to these optional features and how we perform testing for those optional features?
There is a patent over here. This patent is basically related to deblocking filter, which is in loop filter. In this patent, there are some claim limitations related to PU boundary, TU boundaries, and then assigning block strength to that particular boundaries, TU boundaries, and for the block strength related to the PU boundaries, and then the deblocking to the block boundaries. So these are the claim limitations. So as we can see over here, there is a standard H.265, which is an HEVC standard. In this standard, there are multiple sections which corresponds to these limitations. As we
Okay.
can see over here, this deblocking filter process, prediction block boundary section, transform block boundary section, and for the
Okay.
block strength limitation, there is a boundary filtering strength. And for the deblocking block boundary section, there is a section called Luma block edges, filtering process for Luma block edges.
Okay.
So in other case, if we want to know while the implementation is being used in that video coding device, there are multiple flags with which we can get to know whether that device is using in-loop filters. The flags over here, as we can see, there is a flag called PPS low filter across slices enabled flag and deblocking filter control present flag. There is a flag called loop filter across tile enabled flag. If the
Okay.
value of this flag will be is equals to 1, then the loop filter operations may be performed. And in the other case, the deblocking filter control present flag is equals to 1. The deblocking filter control syntax element will be present in that particular video.
Okay.
And in case of testing, we have a software in which we can upload a video. Like for example, we have a software in which we have uploaded a video recorded by an iPhone. With
Okay.
that video, this is a snippet from that particular software, and these are the flags: PPS loop filter across slice enable flag, which is 1, deblocking filter control present flag is 1, and loop filter
Okay.
across tile enable flag is 1. It is showing that
Okay.
while implementation in loop filter process is being used in that particular by that particular device.
Right. So in this way, we can identify that iPhone is
Yes,
using the in-loop filters. Okay.
yes. There are some other
Okay.
features like scalability feature, HDR functionality. We can also get to know whether that device supports scalability, like VPS max layer -1. If the value is greater than 1, the device is supporting scalability feature.
Right. Right.
So for the HDR functionality, there is a transfer from characteristics. In this, we can get to know for that particular video, the value of transfer characteristics is 18. As we can see in this table, 18 value, then the standard is being used in that video is STD-B67.
Right. So the video is being taken from iPhone, I think. So
Yes,
that means the iPhone is using HLG based uh, transfer function.
yes,
Okay. So the testing we have performed so far is from the perspective of an encoder. So to test at a decoder end, there are some another techniques. So for different scenarios, there could be different ways and different softwares through which we can test different features. For example, in this example, for HDR functionality, we can check the flags, uh, whether to identify these HDR functions or not. For another features that may be related to loop filter, that to identify those features at a decoder level, there might be some other technique that we can use. But we'll discuss those techniques from the decoder perspective in our future video. Thank you for watching.